I've been doing real estate for over 20 years. I've flipped thousands of houses. I've done deals in multiple markets, and I've made millions. 7 years ago, I went all in on Puerto Rico. And since then, I've done over 200 deals. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything that I've learned. If you're thinking about investing on the island of Puerto Rico, this video might save you years of mistakes and make you tons of money. Number one, the MLS, it's basically useless here. Hey, if you're used to looking at deals on Redfin or Zillow or Find It, forget about it. The best deals in Puerto Rico are off market and they're not online. I've bought $1 million buildings that never even hit a listing site. One of my favorite flips that we're just finishing up right now, I found with a handwritten sign that was 20 feet up on a telephone pole. They stapled their sign that said Se Vende to the top of that telephone pole. Here's the lesson. You've got to hunt. You have to dig deep. Drive for dollars. Put in the work. Call on the signs that say Se Vende. You need to be talking to people. And the old school stuff that I just talked about works so well here because nobody does it. People are afraid of hard work. I love it that it's not automated. I don't want it to be automated, although I do think eventually it will come. Right now, it's a gold mine for me and people who are like me that are willing to put in the effort and just go old school. Roll up your sleeves, get to work. All we're looking for is 12-hour days, 6 days a week. I mean, hell, that's half time. Number two, cash is king, but relationships are even more important than the king. This is Relationship Island, guys. And if you don't know somebody, you're not going to get the deal. So I've had people give me the deal even when there were higher offers because they were friends with someone that I know and I got introduced by the right person. Again, Relationship Island. Treat people with respect, treat people fairly, and it goes a long way. And believe me, whether that's the seller, the owner, the yard guy, it doesn't matter. You got to treat people well. People will remember you for it, and you can make a fortune on Relationship Island. We've expanded our business the entire time we've been here, partnering with locals on the island. We came to the island not speaking the language, and data, it's terrible. So finding comps, nearly impossible, especially when the lights were out after Hurricane Maria. What did we do? We partnered with a bunch of guys who had already been in the game here on the island, and we've made a fortune. We still do deals with them, and we expand our business every single time we buy something, partnering with locals on the island of Puerto Rico. Number three, the margins can be wild. So this is a real estate investor's playground, but it takes value add. We're value add real estate investors, and we have thrived here on the island. If you have ever been to the island of Puerto Rico, you've seen the zombie houses. All you have to do is get in your car and drive around in any neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you're in a multi-million-dollar neighborhood or you're just in a working-class neighborhood. You're going to see some stuff that's really nice, and you're going to see some stuff that's been sitting there vacant and decaying and distressed for decades now. That is where value-add real estate investing comes in, and you force the equity. So I get asked all the time, why are the deals so good in Puerto Rico? Well, it's because we're able to buy something at a low valuation because it has no use. It's been sitting empty for a long, long time. It's completely out of the market. It can't be lived in. It can't be rented. You can't even get the power turned on when we buy these things. We come in and do a complete reassessment, and we look for what the highest and best use is. Oftentimes, that will be just putting it back together so that it can be a home for someone again. And we will renovate the ugly duckling in the neighborhood through value-add real estate investing and make it the prettiest house in the neighborhood. And then throw it out there for sale to a local family who's going to buy it using an FHA loan. We have success. We've made money, and we've put a family into a home. Number four, contractors, they're going to ghost you. So plan for it. You've got to have a bench even. You need 3 or 4 contractors on standby because it's just that bad. Labor is difficult everywhere since the big flu, and it's especially bad on the island of Puerto Rico. So we've started many jobs with one contractor and ended with another one. Sometimes we've had 2 or 3 in between. It gets wild, it gets crazy, but if you can do it, finish the job, you're going to make the money. Most people will give up and not do the next investment, but not us. We've done it 200 times. We like hitting our head against the wall a little too much. But anyways, the profit margins are sick, and so we do it. On average, we can turn about a 40% profit cash on cash doing these flips. So even if we have to suffer through all of the problems that come with the contractors on the island of Puerto Rico, we eventually get something done and we make it look beautiful. We generally will end up with the nicest house on the street. So when we put it on the market, the locals flock to it. They can now go to the bank, they can borrow the money through FHA loans or conventional loans or VA or whatever it is. As long as it's a house that they're going to live in, that money's pretty easy to get, and we give families homes. Number 5, Act 60 brings money, but it also brings noise. What does that mean? Let me tell you about Act 60. Act 60 is attracting some people who are fleeing high-tax states in the U.S. to come to the island so that they don't have to pay the high taxes. And it does bring people who have lots of money, deep pockets. They're buying houses. They employ some people even. And generally, I think that Act 60 is a good thing for the island of Puerto Rico, but it doesn't come without controversy. Anytime a guy from the outside is coming in and he's got deep, deep pockets and he can just spend money like it's water, locals look at that and they say, hey, that's not very fair. And they see some fool sells his business in California and he's fleeing that state because they're oppressive and they're taking half of his money. He moves to Dorado Beach East in Puerto Rico, in Dorado, Puerto Rico, and he spends $14 or $15 million on a home while the local population is working for minimum wage and can't afford to buy a working class home. So there's a lot of inequity there, and there's obviously going to be some pushback. We've seen it the whole entire time that we've been here, and we get it, guys. Act 60 brings in lots of money, deep pocket people, but there's an unfortunate way that they've written the law, and they don't let the locals take advantage of one portion of it. That's what used to be Act 22. It's now gobbled up into Act 60, and that's the portion of that law that lets crypto bros come in and sell their crypto for billions of dollars worth of profit and pay zero capital gains, while the local guy here who's invested in crypto pays capital gains. That's poorly written, and it doesn't need to be that way. If one guy can pay zero on crypto gains, why can't the local? All right, so I digress. But don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, because Act 60 is certainly not all bad. And through things like the tourism portion of Act 60, jobs are created. Properties are renovated up to their highest and best use. And then tourism comes in, bringing tons of money to the island of Puerto Rico. And so Act 60 certainly isn't all bad. I think it's mostly good. And actually, most portions of Act 60 are available to the locals. It's just that the government does such a poor job of letting the locals know that they're allowed to use Act 60 that they're ready to just throw out everything and everybody that comes with it. By the way, I'm not part of Act 60, but I do use it to invest in hospitality. Number 6, this is a good one, guys. The locals have been doing this longer than you. So you've come to the island, you want to do some value-add real estate investing. You know that data is tough. You know that finding things on market is difficult. The locals have been doing this for decades now. We've made a fortune investing with local real estate investors who showed us the way. They came alongside of us. They brought us deals, and hey, here's what we said. We think that it's a good deal. It looks like a good deal, but I don't know how to value it. Here's what I'd like to do, Mr. Local Real Estate Investor. If it's really a good deal, buy it with us. Put some money in it. Let's do it together and see if we can make a whole bunch of money. And we had about half of them that said yes, half of them would say no. We did business with the half that said yes to investing with us. And we've done now dozens and dozens of deals with those people that we met very early on when we came to the island. So this is a good strategy. This is what we did, guys. This is what you could do if you want to do it. And now we've got a whole community, by the way, of people who are like-minded. We call it the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. It's our premium community. And if you comment yes in this video, I'll send you the link and you can become part of it. And number 7, it's not about the property, it's about the plan. Even if your plan's not a good plan, having a plan will keep you profitable. Real estate investing really isn't that hard. Just know what you're going to do. Have an exit strategy going in. So we say this all the time. You make your money in real estate when you buy. And in the island of Puerto Rico, there's lots of opportunity to buy things that need a whole bunch of work. Your job as the value add real estate investor is to figure out what its highest and best use is and force the equity. And then go about executing your plan. So renovate that ugly duckling house up to the nicest house in the neighborhood and then sell it for top dollar to a family that's going to call it home, or buy a distressed building that's on the block that you can take from a mixed-use building and turn it into a hospitality play using Act 60 and get 40% tax credits. What's better than that? Guys, it's all about the plan and having an exit strategy, maybe even having multiple exit strategies. Let me give you an example of one that we're doing right now in real time. We've got an 8-story building on Calle Condado where we have renovated 35 condominiums. And we were thinking that we could do it as a hospitality play. We could actually make it work as a long-term rental, or we could just sell off the individual condos. And so we're probably going to do a combination of 2 of those. And we're either going to rent it as a hospitality play for a while and then sell off the condos, or we're going to rent it long-term for a while and then sell off the condos. Either way, we're going to stack a couple of these together. All of them work. They're all going to make us piles of cash. So have a plan and you're going to make big bucks. Puerto Rico changed my life, not just financially, but because of the people and the culture and the opportunities. I've never been in a place where there was more of a desire to partner and to do good things together. So we say all the time on this channel that we can do more together than we can apart. And that's why I tell you, the wannabe real estate investor, or you, the experienced real estate developer, what's going on the island, and invite you to come to do exactly what you want to do right alongside of me. Because the truth is, all ships rise in a rising tide, and there's plenty of work that needs to be done on the island of Puerto Rico. So that's all I got. Watch this next.